What a knock! What a knock by KL Rahul. And just before we get into the analysis of KL Rahul's knock, these are your numbers that I'm going to present in front of you. His 8th Test 100, his 2nd in South Africa, but his 7th 100 outside India, 6th outside Asia. He now joins only Sachin Tendulkar as the only other cricketer to have hit 2 centuries in one venue in South Africa. Sachin hit it in Cape Town, 111 and 146, and KL Rahul 123 and 101. Imagine KL Rahul came to bat when the situation was 92 for 4.
Yeah.
Shepherding the tail together, the partnerships that he strung from 92 for 4. Even if I may add 164 for 7, the last 3 wickets have contributed 245 all out. And look at it, last 3 wickets, 81 runs. That means KL Rahul has played, even on commentary, everybody was saying on air that this was one of the best knocks of KL Rahul. What do you guys agree? Do you guys agree that this was one of his best knocks, or do you have some other knock which has been good of?
No, I'm going to go right and say this is his best knock, not one off. If you're looking at Test cricket and he has a few good knocks to his name, I think this is the best knock by some distance. Because again, tough circumstances, a very, very difficult pitch, up and down bounce. There were conditions were changing based on the overhead weather. So yesterday you saw in the second session, it was swinging a lot. Even today, the South Africa bowlers were getting some movement of the deck and in the air. So very challenging conditions. Having to come in after the top order really hasn't contributed all that much. Get a century, testing conditions, shepherd the tail. Fabulous.
Fabulous. And look at the strike rate, 73.72. It's better than his World Cup final strike rate. And it was calculating. I mean, see, when Siraj fell, he knew, okay, I had to get the runs quickly. Hit a 6.
So he did.
And simply, I think on these kind of, as Shane pointed out, tough circumstances, up and down pitch.
Also, probably the first run that he has playing in the lower middle order. Otherwise, all of them have come as an opener.
Correct.
So, looking at where India were and the situation the match was poised in, again, India were in complete doldrums.
Yep.
For him to have staged this recovery for India, soaked in all the pressure, realized that he needed to stick around, and mind you, of all those 100 runs, I would say good 85 runs were scored when he was in complete control of all the shots.
Yep.
Absolute control. I remember just the 1-6 I think that he hit yesterday, which is where I thought he lost some control. But otherwise, especially off the back foot to the number of short balls that were bowled to him, I think impeccable. Even that 6 again, he rocked back on his back foot, knew where the ball would be and whacked it over deep mid wicket. So again, very good batting display from KL Rahul. And yeah, again making a strong case for himself. KL Rahul,
what a comeback after 10 months.
You think of dismissing him, you think of counting him out, and the guy does something which brings him back into the picture, and he does something spectacular. Now what this does is, it in many ways outshines all those 50s that Ishan Kishan had scored in the West Indies. It outshines all of that. That's the weight of this 100.
It is. I mean, see, it was also coming back after 10 months into the test team, and also you could see that he was mentally very calm and mentally very calculated. I mean, look at it. I think yesterday, it's even there in the news also. He hit Marco Jansen for a 6. Jansen was really, really angry. He lost to school. KL Rahul was just smiling and said, you bowled it there. I had to hit it. That smile, the calmness, and even here, he didn't do any of the celebrations. It was just, I think, out of relief that he got that 100, first 100 after 10 months. And if you look at his overall record, I mean, 7 out of his 800s have come outside of India. He's got 2 in England at the Oval and at Lord's. He's got 2 in South Africa, both at Centurion, traditionally South Africa's fortress. He's got 1 in Australia. So he's got it out of the Sena, he's got it in the sea countries. South Africa, England and Australia. He hasn't played in New Zealand yet.
Yeah.
So that is why KL Rahul, I think, as I have always been stating, for his records, he gets unnecessary hate. I think somewhere down the line, this knock could silence a bit of the detractors that are there. Because on this wicket, look at how Rabada was bowling. Look at how Nandre Berger was bowling. Look at even for a certain extent, even Gerald Katsia is getting good seam movement, inward movement. Conquered all that and at a very precarious situation of 92 for 4. Ensured India have at least gotten to 245, which is in Centurion conditions and above par total.
At the very least a par total, at the very least. I mean, we were talking about how 250 could potentially be a target that teams will be happy having in the first innings, because again, South Africa now have to not only overhaul these 245 runs, but then also look to get some sort of a substantial lead. It's going to be easier said than done.
And remember, they may have to negotiate a very tricky session before lunch.
Exactly. Also, it's a two-pace track. Remember, we've seen the odd ball bounce quite a lot. We've seen, the ball being swung around as well by a few bowlers.
And some of them stay very low.
Some of them stay low as well. Ask Shreyas Iyer how low the ball can possibly stay on this deck. So again, South Africa now have an uphill task for all the good work that Kagiso Rabada and South Africa had done yesterday. KL Rahul with his gritty knock has almost nullified all of that, and South Africa really will have to dig deep to be able to upstage India from where they are right now.
Potentially they are a batter short also. Temba Bavuma, we don't know his status. But I think he may have to bat, but will be lower down the order.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'll be coming up because see, he'll be in discomfort, he can't run. So
the foot movement again will not be the way that he would like it to be. Perhaps again, I hope he doesn't ring up Glenn Maxwell to take tips as to how to come out of these situations.
No, I don't think. See, against an Afghanistan bowling lineup in a World Cup versus an Indian bowling side and these kind of conditions, totally a different story.
Also, don't forget, Glenn Maxwell had a target in front of him and also had a number of overs in front of him. It's a test match. It'll be a whole different ball game. But remember, if we are all getting excited to the likes of Kagiso Rabada, Gerald Katsia, Andre Berg all getting that, imagine what can the likes of Siraj, Bumrah, Shardul. I don't know. I'm not talking much about Prasidh because he's an untested character. But again, the kind of bowling that he does, tailor-made for conditions like this, hit the deck. If he can exploit the bounce or potentially scare them enough, and then one suddenly just stays low, you don't know. You really don't know.
Exactly. So that is why Bumrah on this wicket will be a handful. Shardul also, he will get swing, he might go for runs, but then he will somehow get you 3-4 wickets. I'm somehow getting that feeling of Shardul Thakur in that sense.
No, and in Test cricket, he does tend to have that. I think his effectiveness is a lot more because, again, the way the fields are, more often than not, you can be more attacking with your lines. And bowlers or batters rather will not look to hit you as much as they do in, say, white ball cricket, but they'll look to take advantage. Here, if you're bowling an attacking line, you don't really know. Wait, is number 4, is that?
That's Markram.
So they've sent Markram to open. Very interesting.
Yes, Markram and Elgar will open, and we are about to start the South African. I think, Shane, you have an idea, right? What are the session timings?
So they are extended, but this session was going to be going on till 4.
Okay.
That really wasn't that extended because there was a bit of a delay. Beyond that, I think it was then 4:40 to like 7
Wait, I think I have the timings. You can continue.
7:25, I think it was.
No, 7:20. That's 9:25 is the final session's end time. Indian time.
Okay. That's 5:55 local. That means 9:25 local time here. So
it is going to be an extended day. They were not planning to start early. The plan was to finish later.
But now they'll have to once again. Okay. So the first session timings were actually, if you look at it, 1:55 till about
4 o'clock.
Just 4 o'clock. Okay. Then the next session would have been 4:40 till 8:05. No, say 7:05. 7:05. Then 7:25 to 9:20.
There we go.
Second would have been the biggest session.
Yes, correct.
Two biggest session. In fact, you would have needed at least 2 drinks break in that session.
Normally the middle session is the one that's extended always. And in South Africa, even the final
you
session.
usually see the last session being extended.
because
in India as well. In India as well,
that was prodigious swing.
See, with India, the advantage, with England, the advantage is that daylight tends to be extended very, very long. So it doesn't get dark in a hurry.
Alright, we've not been able to take many of your comments, in fact, any of your comments, but we'll try taking them later in the day because action's resumed in Centurion. So when you guys go ahead, enjoy the action, we too will try doing the same. And when we break for lunch, that's when we join you guys.
It'll be a longer live session than this.
40 minutes it will be.
We'll join you then.
Bye-bye.